And hello, welcome to the show. It is Thursday, September 16th, 2021. I'm here, Zach is here. Zach, how you doing? Average?
Yep.
So it's been a couple weeks. Dude, life has been crazy recently.
Interesting.
I got some news though.
Get a new job or something?
Not yet, but I will in about... I'll be starting my new position in a few weeks.
So you did get a new job?
I did.
Well, you just said you didn't.
Well, yes, but I haven't started yet. Okay, fine.
Getting an offer means you got a new job.
Yeah, okay, fine. So yes, I got a new job.
Make me jealous. I want one.
A new job?
Yeah.
Alright, real talk real quick here. So, well, okay, let me explain what the job is, right? So, it's in IT.
I'm shocked.
I finally have an opportunity to be in an IT role, which I'm super excited about because I've been trying to get here. It's been a long climb up the ladder. So I'm excited about that. So basically I'll be doing very similar to probably what you do. My position, my title will be employee support technician, I believe, or employee support specialist, one or the other. I think it's employee support specialist. So basically, help desk IT, right?
How everybody starts in IT as a ticket drone.
Yep.
You are a ticket drone. Hi, fellow ticket drone.
Yes and no. See, so this particular company, depending on what I've got going on in terms of tickets, I'm sure, and other daily tasks, if I want to explore other areas with other teams and things like that, it sounds like I will have the opportunity to do that.
Well, that must be nice.
My schedule allows.
That must be really nice.
That's what I've been told. Basically,
it works out for you because working with teams who don't want to teach you anything is just infuriating.
Basically, what I've been told is that the sky is kind of the limit, and I am my own biggest barrier, basically.
Wow, they're really promising the world, aren't they?
That's what I've been told. So this particular company, a little background on them. I'm not going to say the name because in keeping with the tradition of this show, I just don't think that it's appropriate to share those specific details. So, in fact, it's funny. Zach, I don't even actually know the name of your company.
I'll tell you if you want.
We can do that later. Anyway.
Yes.
I
didn't mean right now.
No. So basically, this company has been in the area for quite a while. And they're a software development company with some pretty big portfolios, is my understanding. And the guy that owns it, I guess he just likes to buy cool things because he was like, hey, you know what's really cool? Cameras. So what does he do? He buys a bunch of cameras and starts a media production company as well. So, so it's a separate entity, but it is connected to the same building. So yeah, there's that. So I won't have a part of that particular business. I'm part of the business that does the software, development and stuff. They've built a platform, to do analytics and things like that for big, companies and stuff. So I think that's our core product. But yeah, my job is to support their user base, basically, which will be neat, and everything. So I know that you're familiar with Active Directory, Zach, correct?
Yeah.
What about Azure Active Directory?
We only have about 3 of them. No, never touched Azure.
What do you mean you only have about 3 of them?
We only have 3 different Active Directory domains.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we have 3 domains, and they're all this spaghetti mess.
Oh my gosh. So
like intertwined.
let me ask you this. So when you actually have to go reset a user, I'm going to guess...
You have to know what domain they're in.
You have to know what domain they're in, but I'm going to guess that you're not actually accessing the server itself, are you?
What do you mean?
Like, so, okay, so in my scenario, right, if I have a user that has locked themselves out of their account, I am actually going to the server and loading up the Active Directory users and computers, window on the server itself. You guys don't actually do that. You have, that, separate software or that separate piece, on your systems, don't you?
I could install it on my system, but usually what I do is I just go into a terminal server and then I load it up there and just do it.
Okay. So like a remote desktop kind of thing, or are you actually
Yeah. No, just a normal RDP. Since each site has its own on-site DC, so you have to switch to that DC before you do it, or else they're gonna have to wait for it to replicate, which is pretty annoying. Then you have to do detective work to find out which DC they're actually talking to. So you know which one to switch to. And sometimes that can be a chore, because if you get the wrong one, then you're just sitting there playing whack-a-mole with DCs until you hit the right one.
That's what I was wondering. So you actually RDP into the server itself?
We don't RDP into the DC, no.
Oh, okay. I
In
thought
the
you
Active
did.
Directory console, you can change which DC you're making changes on. That's what I'm talking about doing.
Okay.
And doing that bypasses the need to wait for it to replicate across.
Right. Well, I understand that. So 90% of the workforce, my understanding is...
If you're only looking at a few DCs, you probably won't understand that, because you'll never have to care about it.
Right. I don't know how they're handling this, because 90% of their workforce is remote right now.
Well, then my guess is they probably either VPN in, in which case it's probably just, they're probably all hitting the same DC.
Well, so they're using what's called Azure Active Directory, I guess. Which is kind of...
I don't know anything about Azure then, so whatever.
My understanding is it's kind of like a hybrid cloud solution where it can...
Azure is cloud.
Oh, hang on. You know what I forgot to do?
What?
I forgot to sign out of the app for the store phone. So somebody just called our store. That's what that was in the background there.
Tell them to screw off?
Voice over IP stuff is pretty neat. I can sign into the app on this phone and answer our store phone from this phone.
Just what I want to do is do work when I'm at home.
No, I use it in the store. Because half the time, I don't want to get up to go grab the cordless phone because it's all the way up front, and I'm in the back.
I get what you're talking about. I have a coworker who likes to give out his personal cell, and I'm just blown away by that. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you mad?
So...
Like, it's just easier. And I'm like, but then you find yourself fielding calls when you're at home.
This company...
You have some dumb user that just, texts you, hey, I got a problem. And I'm like,
So this company that I will be working for is... They had an onboarding survey, basically, like a welcome survey, where, they ask some questions and stuff like that about who you are and yada, 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 and they ask what you want on... I doubt I'll have a business card, because I'm not, a public-facing person, but anyway. So, they're like, what name do you want on your business card? Do you want your personal cell phone number on your business card? And I'm like, heck. Well, no, so I did, but the number I put on it is that phone that I just had, not this phone, because I have 2 phones.
Well, look at you, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Personal, work stuff.
I hope they're paying for your work stuff.
No, I have that for myself. That's for my own business ventures and stuff like that.
Okay.
To have a separate number. So my LLC technically pays for it.
Yeah, but since it's yours, you're still paying for it.
Yes. See, when you have a business, it's weird because technically it is your money, but it's not because it's the business's money. But the business is owned by me, so technically it is, but it isn't. It's very complicated.
Well, I know nothing about business, so I'll just take your word for it.
Something tax write-off.
Ah.
So
Okay. Fair enough.
There is that.
Either way,
so
I don't know. If I got promoted to having the responsibility at my job of taking calls after hours, they would pay for my phone.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. So
and yeah, that'd be good.
Anyway, so back to Azure Active Directory. So my understanding is, so it's not a replacement for on-premise AD, right? It can't replace that. Not yet, at least. But what it does do is it syncs all users' credentials from Active Directory into, like, Outlook, or not Outlook, Office 365. Like, so it syncs all that across, right? And then, what else does it do? So it provides, that single sign-in for multiple other things.
SSO for the Microsoft suite, yeah.
That, but then you can also roll that out to other applications as well.
I'm sure you can sign into Teams or, heaven forbid, Skype or OneDrive.
I believe that this entity uses. I believe this entity uses Teams. Look, I've looked at Teams a little bit because I had a couple users.
Not that it's worse or better than Zoom or Slack or all the other trash.
Yeah, I think I'll get used to it. I deployed Teams for a couple of users at the church just a couple days ago. I haven't actually set them loose with it yet. But the reason I'm going with that is because we already have the Microsoft subscription. I can manage it from the back end, so, that's nice. But, yeah, so part of the Azure Active Directory service is, though, it talks to your DC on-prem, and syncs back and forth between that as well. So, at least the users.
So does it work such that, so you know how you might have a DC for every site, right?
Sure, okay.
Is the Azure AD, basically your cloud site DC, for lack of a better...
Sort of, because it's not a full DC. Okay. It doesn't work that way. It's more for, credentials, and that's it. You can't really do GPOs in it. So it's more for credentials and stuff like that is really all it's for.
Oh, okay, very cool.
Is my understanding. So I'm curious to see how they're managing their remote workforce. I think that'll be very interesting. My understanding is that that'll be part of my assignment is to basically wipe devices from, other employees that are no longer with the company, or whatever the case may be, and then image new systems, and get them ready to go and then ship them out, I guess. That'll be interesting.
Imaging's easy. Yeah, I like to put on headphones and just listen to stuff while I do it. It's so mind-numbing, but also it's kind of nice because at least when I'm imaging, I know that I'm just gonna do this, and that's it. It's just gonna work, and I'm not gonna have to deal with any dum-dums.
So do you have? I'm gonna guess. So you have WDS installed on a DC, right?
We have that, yep.
So you download, you Pixie boot it, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's probably all automated with, an answer file somewhere behind the scenes, right? It's
pretty much automated, yeah. You just Pixie boot and it grabs the IP and...
So you don't have to do anything with the out-of-box experience. It basically just handles that all for you.
You don't do the out-of-box experience. You go straight in, you get the computer and it's got whatever crap they have loaded on it, and then you just network boot it and don't touch it.
And then when it's done, it's ready to go.
We used to use this freeware thing called Fog, but Fog is...
I've heard of Fog before.
Fog is super janky. It's about what you'd expect from freeware. It works if you're willing to give it the time that it needs to be set up correctly and tinkered with.
Yeah, so
but it is pretty janky.
So somewhere behind the scenes, somebody's put an answer file together to actually basically automate the out-of-box experience, so you don't have to. So and I'm sure run a couple other things. So anyway, yeah. So there's that. So I guess now they recommend for me, and I can see this, and I kind of agree with it. Right? Is they're basically. It sounds like they're pretty flexible, though. It sounds like if and I'm sure it's something that down the line I will explore, but it sounds like there is the option possibly to, from time to time, work from home.
You should take them up on it.
So here's where here's the thing about this, right? Is the building right now is about 90% empty, from my understanding. And it's a decent sized building. Oh yeah, we'll get into some other things in a second, which are kind of neat. But here's the thing. While I think it would be neat to work from home, and while I think I could be productive enough, that's not where the issue is. The nice thing about going to an office, is that you're there, that's where you go do your work, and then when you're done, you leave. And you can leave your work at work.
All right, so what if when you're working from home and you're done working, you just stop thinking about work?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The commute, as long as I'm in the same area, is only going to be like 5 minutes, though. So, like,
Okay.
There's that. Remember, I live in a much smaller area than you do. My current commute is only like 10 minutes.
Well, so is mine.
So
is mine, and I still like working from home.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It sounds like
at my own desk, and
it sounds like the collaborative efforts.
Or whatever.
It sounds like the collaborative efforts, though, of kind of my position and things like that. It's easier to do if you're there with other people.
You need to be in the office because collaboration and teamwork and service.
Okay, you know what? Here's the thing, though. I'm more of a. I'm not as much of an introvert as you are, though.
Oh yeah, let's just start puking out corporate buzzwords here. Those are about all the reasons we can come up with.
Hey, am I wrong?
Huh?
Am I wrong?
Oh.
Exactly. See?
Well, not my problem.
I like the team atmosphere. So anyway, but there's
you'll make a great corporate slave.
You're
already drinking the Kool-Aid.
From what I understand, this company, from what I've heard from people who actually know like the main guy, he's like a really good guy, and it's a good company to work for.
How many employees?
Oh, I have no idea. A lot.
Is it like hundreds or is it thousands? Or...
It's probably not thousands. It's probably hundreds, though.
Okay. I mean, honestly, like, how big is the IT team?
The team that I'm going to be working on, I think, is going to be...
No, the whole IT team.
Oh, I don't know. The team that I'm going to be working on, though...
Is your team like the support
technician? Yeah, my team is the support team. I guess it's going to be like me and another guy right now, and like I think they're probably hiring more people for that team.
How many more do you think they're going to hire?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm just trying to get a feel for how big the company is, because...
Oh.
I mean, honestly, I had a way better experience working in a department of 4 than I have in a department of 14 or 15 or whatever.
There's the company right there, Zach.
Look it up. Certificate error. Nice.
Oh. Try without the S, I guess. What?
Oh. Oh, then it rolled over to the S anyway.
I've seen that happen before.
Yeah, that's dumb. Whatever, I don't care.
I mean, if you look at like their leadership, like they've got a decent number of people just in the leadership like group.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope that wherever I land in the future will be at a smaller company because just no.
From what I said, like it's a decent sized company.
And all the ding dongs at the big company.
It sounds like it's a decent sized company, but like it sounds like it's the guy's a great guy to work for. It sounds like it's a great company to work for. The couple people that did my second interview have been there for like 12 and 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like you don't typically stay with a company that long unless they're doing something right, at least is my opinion.
Yeah, so let me tell you something. On my team, you know, the longest standing tech has worked there for 8 years, and she is leaving because she can't stand it. And that leaves one person who's been there 1 year longer than me, and I've been there for about a year and a half. Actually, a little bit less than that. So he's in like 2.5 years.
Hmm.
And after him is me. And like, yeah, so you know, the tech turnover is oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. But at the very least, you know, this is a good step for me. It gets my foot in the door.
No, it really does. Like even at a crappy company that you can't stand like mine, it's still a good step.
Well, okay, so let me.
Because even though, okay, so look at this. Look at it this way, right? So I think that the environment is kind of a mess, right? And not just from like a staff standpoint. I just mean from a
management.
standpoint.
Oh.
No, from a technical standpoint, the environment's a mess. There's like 3 domains and just constantly like, oh, we're going to migrate this site. We're going to migrate that site. Oops, we set them on fire while we were migrating. Oh, darn, the script broke. The script. Ah, the script.
Oh
okay,
my gosh.
You know, like, whatever. But the more on fire it is, the more, I don't know, like, the more hardened you become as a tech.
Well, yeah, I mean, there is some truth to that, I guess. You know, having to fix things. Man, that sounds like my current company.
Basically, what I'm saying is I've learned stuff at this job that I would have never learned at a company that had functional IT systems.
Oh, that sounds like my time when I worked in TV, where I was a master control operator.
Yeah.
I had to, like, fix things because they were, like,
you just
broken on a daily basis.
You work at a jank job, you learn how to fix jank.
Dude, so the company that I used to work for, when I was at the TV station, one, it's amazing that the system is even online, right? Like, I question how that station is even on the air sometimes. It's amazing. But we always joked, right, that if there's just miles and miles and miles and miles of cables, right? We always joke that if they ever wanted to clean up that space, it would be the situation where somebody would unplug a cable and then be like, everything's still working?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And then I'll plug another cable. Is everything? Oh, crap! Plug it back in, plug it back in, plug it back in!
Yeah. Yeah, I'm back.
So, okay, so here's another thing, right? This apparently has since been corrected. So a couple things. So first, right, I have to explain how things kind of work, right? So there are 4 stations that are broadcasted from this particular entity. There is the main channel, which is the original, right? Which is, it's a network, basically, right? So, you know, you have your local programming, so it's a local affiliate, basically, right? But then you have your network stuff. I won't say what network affiliate it is, but it is one of the big players. There is the secondary channel, which has been around ever since the digital switch thing. Actually, I think they added 2 extra channels when they did the digital switch thing. Yes, they did. Because the second channel is all syndicated programming from within the building itself, right? The third is basically syndicated programming that comes over a satellite, and then they added a 4th channel, which is the same thing. So the 3rd and 4th channels are basically just rebroadcasting a signal, so we don't touch those much. Really, the only thing we do on the 3rd channel, we put an ID up every hour. And the 4th channel, we throw an ID up, and they give us options to run local commercials, which are basically just promos. And, like, they call them a PI. I'm not actually sure what that stands for, but basically we only pay, or we only get paid when somebody buys a product from it, from the advertisement, which I don't know how they determine that, but whatever. Anyway, so Why this is important is because that secondary channel, right? Like I said, it's all authenticated programming. So basically, that's all fed through a satellite, and then comes down on from distribution services, right? And then the master control operators are responsible for moving that content to or the local servers, right? And then timing those programs out so that they have the correct in and out points for each segment. And then that stuff gets saved in basically a giant NAS, right? And then we have playback servers that actually play the content back and interact with the automation software, which again is all a miracle that this all works, right? And then the automation software is also responsible for interacting with the video switcher as well. So anyway, you would think all this equipment, right, would maybe be on its own separate network, right, Zach?
No, I don't think it is.
No, it is now.
Oh, okay.
But it was not. It was on the entire corporate network, like with everything else. Like with all the other users stuff. Like the DCs, all the other servers, all the users, like it was all just one big giant network. Like, why? Why does a news reporter need access to that system? So there's that, right? So this was a while ago, but one of the particular systems is a database system. It keeps track of, where the files are, what the timings are, yada, 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 right? Somebody decided to install an antivirus software on that computer because presumably it was exposed to the internet because it was on the main corporate network and it screwed everything up, and apparently it's still somewhat broken-ish.
Yep, you've told me that story.
So, yeah, you want to talk about jank, there you go.
Yeah, no, I believe that.
It has, so I actually stopped by one time to talk to my buddy, and I was like, all right, hang on. So I took his workstation that he had up there, right? And I took one of the other computers, the one for timing out the programming, and I looked up what the IP address was, and then I pinged it from his workstation, and it went through, and I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. I about fell flat on my face when I saw that. I was like, what is going on here? So apparently that has been remedied now. That has all apparently been switched to its own network. Which, okay. That's good. But yeah, there's these awesome things called firewalls, Zach. I don't know if you've ever heard of them before.
A wall of fire? That sounds dangerous.
So anyway, yeah, the model kind of is, like there's already a Band-Aid over things, but then we've just added a Band-Aid over the Band-Aid over the Band-Aid over the Band-Aid.
Yeah.
So anyway, so there's that. Yeah. Oh, I know what I was going to ask you. I want to get your reaction, but I don't actually want you to say it on stream. So message me, what is your current wage per hour? Because I'll be paid hourly. Oh, okay. I thought you made less than that.
I did at my last job.
Okay. So you're actually a little bit more than I am.
My cost of living is probably higher than yours, though.
Yeah, that's probably true. So that's what I'm starting at.
Oh, wow. That's actually about where I started here, but I got my 2% raise. Ooh, yeah. 2%.
So that's what I will be starting at.
Yeah, so my understanding is that we're doing okay as far as
that's like what I make right now.
If you're a tier 1, yeah, that's okay. That's pretty decent. But I do know that the tier 2s in my company don't make really that good money for tier 2s. I want to get moved into a tier 2. They've basically been dangling it in front of me for months. And I'm like, I know I'm good enough. Now I don't really care about pleasing you anymore.
Yep. So, well, I mean, so look at what I'm going from to, from where I'm at right now to...
Oh.
That's like almost double.
No, about 50%.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's almost double.
That's not
Oh,
double.
no, I'm sorry. You're right.
1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, remember. Come on, math whiz.
Having a basic understanding of math doesn't make someone a whiz.
Oh, no, you know what I'm referencing, right?
Yes, I do.
Oh, I have that clip somewhere. No, I'm not. I hate math. Don't even.
Wrong. Don't like math.
Oh my gosh. I completely lost it because I was not expecting that. So, oh yeah. So, okay. So yes, because I will be starting, my prospective start date is the 11th, right? So because of this, yeah, I do not intend to really take any time off initially quite yet. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
So I will not be coming up to the cities soon-ish. We'll give it a few months probably. I probably won't come back up until like next summer because I don't want to really come up during the winter. That does not sound fun. But anyway. Yeah, so you said you found a couple HPs this time?
Yeah, I did.
Cool. Yeah.
I found a big old pile of laptops, but most of them were super grubby. I'm like, yeah, no, those
so Surfaces, yes. At least so. Okay. I'm not proud of this. So we had an individual bring in a Surface Pro 4 last week.
Okay.
Asked to have a new battery put into it. So I got it opened up, got the screen off without breaking it, because they adhesive them on. And I was pretty happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those devices, I kid you not, I think are worse than Apple devices. I swear. So, I'm putting the new battery in, I get the new battery in, I close it up, I'm thinking, oh, the battery's just low, right? Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I shorted something on that motherboard.
Ouch.
Which apparently is a very common thing with those, at least that particular model. So, but what I did find out is, this is interesting, they actually have an M.2 NVMe SSD in them.
It's not soldered?
No, it's removable.
Wow, impressive.
So, what I have to do, so I ordered an enclosure, right? Because I've got to recover this person's data off of the thing. So I got to figure out, really what I'd like to do is create a backup of it and then just like spit it back out into the actual, like into the new device. I don't know how realistic that's going to be.
You could probably just put the same drive into the new device, assuming the device
No,
is identical.
I do not. I would have to take the screen off and deal with the adhesive and yeah, no.
Right, okay.
I don't, if it was easy enough where it was like pulling off back cover, then yes. Heck yeah, I would do that. But it's not going to be that simple. So, I'm going to have to figure out how to, my worry is that she's probably got programs on there, that are going to need to be, put back on the new device. Now this, well, I already screwed the pooch, I guess. I didn't want to use, pronouns, but anyway, now I will give this person credit. She backed up her stuff before she brought the device into us. At least her files.
Not many people do that. All the places say you should back up your stuff just so they can cover their butts.
Yep.
But nobody actually does.
So, yeah, so, I mean, there's that. She's called us and said that she can't actually edit any of her stuff, though. I'm going to guess she's probably using Word documents and other things like that, and she just doesn't have Word on that device. So I'm going to guess that's probably what the problem is.
Did you guys, give her a new device already?
Okay, so here's the thing. So we ordered this person a device because, so our terms basically say, like if we break the device, we will replace the device with a refurbished device, yada yada yada, right? Same condition, right? So we purchased one, and it actually came in today. But she kind of got cold feet, because she's like, well, I guess she hasn't had good luck with refurbished stuff in the past. So she's like, well, like, I don't know how it's been treated and like all this other stuff and things like that. And so, I went through this with her the other day. I was like, well, it's got a year warranty on it. And like, if there's any problems, like it'll be taken care of and, yada, yada, yada. And so she gets to the point where she's like, you know what? You already ordered it. It's fine. Cool. Awesome. Right. So it comes in today. She calls us again and she got cold feet and she's like, no, I don't want a refurbished device, yada, yada, yada. So basically, we're going to be sending that device back from where we got it. And we're just going to cut her a check for the amount of what the device cost us to replace, like the replacement device is. And then she's going to purchase a new one.
Okay.
So, which is fine. So.
I can see, I'm actually surprised that's even an option, because I can see some, annoying user like getting pissy about it and being like, well, my device is worth more.
Yeah, so it's different. We're a franchise now, not a corporate store. So
I'm sure all that's like, in the terms and conditions of agreeing to have your device serviced.
Yeah, which we don't make people sign like we should.
Oh, well.
But so anyway, so we're like, okay, fine. You know what? We'll cut you a check for the amount of what it is, and or what the replacement device is, and like you can, we'll reimburse you up to that amount, basically. And she was cool with that. So anyway,
helpful.
Yeah. So there's that. Let's look at some tech topics real quick here. Mozilla. You know what Mozilla is. You frequent Mozilla. It's your browser of choice. Yeah, so Mozilla has defeated Microsoft's default browser protections in Windows.
They've done what?
They have defeated the default browser's protections in Windows.
That's hilarious.
So, well, this looks like maybe just in Windows 10.
What exactly protections are we talking about?
It just gets rid of the stupid, are you sure you want to, Here, let's go through the article. So, Mozilla has quietly made it easier to switch to Firefox on Windows recently. While Microsoft offers a method to switch default browsers on Windows 10, it's more cumbersome than the simple one-click process to switch to Edge. This one-click process isn't officially available for isn't available for any other than Microsoft, and Mozilla appears to have gotten tired of this solution. So in version 91 of Firefox, released on August 10th, Mozilla has reverse engineered the way Microsoft sets Edge as default in Windows 10 and enable Firefox to quickly make itself the default. Before this change, Firefox users would be sent to the settings part of Windows 10 to then have to select Firefox as default browser and ignore Microsoft's plea to keep Edge. You know what's funny? So,
oh, that's hilarious.
Well, we're talking about browsers real quick here. So, my current entity that I work for has a. I'm still.
You're gonna say something about Internet Explorer, aren't you?
Yep. Hang on, it gets better. Okay. So they have developed we have a proprietary web-based point of sale system, basically, right? Well, yep. So it's our point of sale system, and then it's also like our giant catalog of products, basically, all kind of built into one product, or one solution. It's nice. It's nice when it works. It's a pain in the rear end when it doesn't, which is pretty frequent.
I'm sure it requires Internet Explorer, because why would it not?
Well, so here's the thing. So it was based around Internet Explorer because Internet Explorer doesn't frequently push out updates to it, right? Like
that is not a good reason to use
Chrome or Edge. Well, hang on. So here's the thing, is there are specific parts of the point of sale software that were developed to actually interact with the operating system itself. So there is a companion program that basically runs as a service on the host computer, and it is responsible for controlling. This is actually pretty neat. We can hit a particular button, and it will format and send the receipt to the correct printer. Because we have a small receipt printer, and then we also have like a giant like document size one. So depending on what button you hit, it will actually talk to that service and then spit out the correct receipt, which is actually pretty neat.
I feel like having an agent. I feel like having a requirement of having an agent on the local computer like defeats most of the advantages of having a browser-based.
That's only part of it. It's for that, and then it's for some other things in terms of like the cache, like the register portion of it, and some other things like that. I guess. I don't understand fully the whole back end portion of it and how that service interacts with things, but it's there. But anyway, basically, and as for the development and things like that, because it's not a browser that consistently changes, that's why they've decided to make it the default browser for using, especially on the register side of it, right? Really however, Microsoft will be discontinuing Internet Explorer in a couple years here, like 2022. So our support team has asked and taken the liberty of installing Google Chrome on all company-wide registers throughout the entire system, and that is the new browser we are supposed to use.
Well, that's probably better.
So, yeah. So we've been using Chrome for the last like week or something like that on the register. We've already been using it on all of our back office computers for like years. So
yeah, we use Chrome.
Anyway, yeah, there's that. So I use both. I use Chrome and Firefox. Chrome is my preferred. Firefox is my secondary.
Yeah, I use Firefox at home.
So
I guess I don't have an aversion to Chrome. I just have always used Firefox.
Yeah. So I've switched back and forth, but Chrome has been what I've been with now because of the Google services that I use and things like that. But it's nice to have just two different browsers because then I can have one on one screen and one on the other screen and always load them up that way. So on my secondary screen, it's Firefox. On my primary screen, it's Chrome. And then all my other devices I use Chrome on. So anyway. So yeah, Mozilla has clearly grown tired of the more complicated way of setting up the default browser, a process that Microsoft is making even harder in Windows 11. People should have the ability to simply and easily set defaults, but they don't, says a Mozilla spokesperson in a statement to The Verge. All operating systems should offer official development support for default status, so people can easily set their default or set their apps as default. Since that hasn't happened on Windows 10 and 11, Firefox relies on other aspects of the Windows environment to give people an experience similar to that, similar to what Windows provides to Edge when users choose Firefox to be their default browser. Yeah. Cramming it down somebody's throat is not the way to get you to use your product.
Please use Edge. We beg you. Please use Edge.
Which is funny because Edge is basically Chrome with a Microsoft skin.
They just put a poorly made sticker on the front of it, like Microsoft, by the way. But it's like all freaking Google.
Yeah, Microsoft can't even make a decent browser, so they had to steal Chrome.
It's honestly pretty bizarre how Microsoft can program an operating system, but just struggles so much at the task of programming a browser that people don't hate.
I think that the culture of Microsoft has changed.
Yeah, whatever.
It's not the company that it used to be. I mean, Windows 10 is still hated by many.
Big corporation is a big corporation. Whatever. All the same to me.
Yeah. You know what? Okay, so here's the thing, though, is... Actually, I was looking um in like my Azure control panel because we have a um oh, what is it? We have access to Office 365 and a lot of the Azure stuff and like services from Microsoft as a donation from Microsoft for the church because we're a nonprofit. Um, it's a really cool way to kind of explore some of their stuff. Um, we trash on Microsoft quite a bit on this show, but some of the stuff that they do is actually decent. One of the cool things,
it's honestly a wonder how like
yeah,
they can make such bad decisions sometimes and still like manage to also sometimes make things that are used a lot.
One of the things that I was looking at though, so like basically you can, and maybe this is what my new employer is doing, but you know how you can log into your system with a Microsoft account?
Blech.
Right, except for here's the thing. I can see that being okay if it's like a work or school account where an entity is managing it. You know what I mean? But one of the things that I saw about that is so when you do that, you have the ability to remove your device in management from your organization, right? I saw some settings in there to disable Cortana. So that was kind of neat. Like allow access to Cortana, and then there was a radio button, and it's like, oh, turn that off. So that was kind of neat.
Please permanently disallow me from accessing Cortana. She's useless. I do not want to access her.
Okay, wait. What is a more useless debate? What is a more useless virtual assistant? Cortana or Bixby?
I thought you were going to say like Alexa or Siri. Bixby. I've never seen anyone use Bixby in my life.
So I use Bixby to do one thing and one thing only.
What is that?
Set like a 20-minute alarm so I can take a nap. Because then I don't have to...
I also don't think I've ever seen anyone use Cortana though. Like, I don't know. I think it's a tough battle.
It's a toss-up.
It's a tough battle. I've never seen anyone use either of them. I've always seen them as just like, oh, go away, insert name here. No one likes you. That's the only thing that I've ever seen anyone say about those programs.
I've at least seen people use Siri before.
Yeah.
Or like Alexa or...
My mom likes to yell at Siri. And she doesn't get it right.
Oh, man. Anyway, so yeah. So that's something cool about Firefox there. Let's talk about this. So Apple must allow other forms of in-app purchases, rules a judge in the Epic versus Apple battle.
Yeah, I did see that. That was interesting.
So I haven't actually...
that means they have to allow, like, basically Epic's thing and...
I haven't read this yet, so hang on. Let's go through this real quick. So a judge issued a permanent injunction in the Epic versus Apple case on Friday morning, putting new restrictions on Apple's App Store rules and bringing months of bitter legal jousting to a conclusion. Under the new order, Apple is permanently restrained and enjoined from prohibiting developers from including in their apps and their metadata buttons external links or other calls to action that direct customers to purchase mechanisms, in addition to in-app purchasing and communicating with customers through points of contact obtained voluntarily from customers through account registration within the app. Hang on.
So basically they're saying that Apple can't police how developers, beg for money from customers? I don't know.
Well, basically,
Apple can't police how customers, or what kind of purchasing system customers use to make a purchase within the app, and can't police developers who want to encourage customers to make an account with them that is external to Apple.
Entry points of contact obtained voluntarily from customers through account registration within the app. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I guess I've not heard of that being a thing, but I guess maybe Apple doesn't like it if you encourage your app users to make an account that isn't controlled by Apple.
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't
Well,
know.
hang
Sounds
on.
like something Apple would do.
In
Even though I
addition
haven't
to
heard of it.
in-app purchasing and communicating with customers through points of contact obtained voluntarily from customers to in-app purchasing. Communicating with
like
customers
points
through
of contact, like creating an account with your email.
obtained voluntarily from
Voluntarily.
customers. The app. Oh no, you know what I think that means? So basically, so like you, I guess like through the registration process with inside the app, like you couldn't have like a box that said like, you know, send me your newsletter or something like that, right?
Oh, interesting. Okay, maybe. But it said accounts too.
No. Through the registration process, because you know how it's very common when you register with an app.
Oh yeah, send
within
me
an app.
promotions. No.
Yep.
You have to hunt. You always, every time I make an account with anything, I'm always looking for that button. Where is it? I know it's there.
You know how many times I've noticed that it's not there though, and then you just, hey, you get a random email.
Yeah.
And then
I use Gmail, and I actually find that it's pretty. It usually filters out that stuff and puts it in the promotions tab.
Oh, see, I don't use that. I don't like the different folders and stuff like that.
If I'm really fed up with them, I'll just block them.
Yeah, so I just turn it off. As soon as I get emails like that, I just unsubscribe from them right away. So my inbox stays pretty uncluttered for the most part.
Mine is actually quite cluttered, but whatever.
I'm not at inbox 0 right now because I got a lot going on. But how many emails do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 3 of these emails are in regards to my new position. One of them is from Amazon, so I can track my Amazon purchase, which will get deleted tomorrow once it's been delivered. And then one of them is some rewards that I have with a retailer. And that's it. That's the only stuff in my inbox right now. So in short, iOS apps must be allowed to direct users to payment options beyond those offered by Apple. The injunction is scheduled to take effect in 90 days on December 9th, unless it is enjoined by a higher court. In a separate judgment, the court affirmed that Epic Games was in breach of its contract with Apple when it implemented the alternative payment system in the Fortnite app. Yeah. As a result, Epic must pay Apple 30% of all revenue collected through the system since it was implemented, a sum of more than $3.5 million. Holy crap. I mean, so my understanding is that Epic is going to fight against that, and I think Apple's fighting against their judgment too, but anyway. I think. I could be wrong. In the full ruling, the judge explained her thinking on the issue in greater detail. Notably, the judge rejected both parties' definition of the marketplace at issue in the case. The relevant market here is digital mobile gaming transaction, not gaming generally, and not Apple's own internal operating system related to the App Store. Under that market definition, the court cannot ultimately conclude that Apple is a monopolist under either federal or state antitrust laws, she continued. Nonetheless, the trial did show that Apple is engaging in anti-competitive conduct under under California's competition laws. Reached for comment, Apple cast the ruling as a victory for the App Store model. Today, the court has affirmed that what we've known all along, the App Store is not in violation of antitrust law. A representative said, Apple faces rigorous competition in every segment in which we do business. And we believe customers and developers choose us because our product and services are the best in the world. We remain committed to ensuring the App Store is a safe and trusted marketplace. Okay. Interesting. I don't know. I think it's a partial win for Epic.
Yeah, I mean, they got kind of what they set out for.
I think it's a win for the small app developer.
Yes, for sure.
You know,
basically you can do more if you're a developer now,
right?
Without Apple like trying to police you,
or basically just highway robbery, steal your, you know, your money from you.
Yes.
Look, I don't think that. I'm sure that building in purchasing within the app through the App Store ecosystem, you know, the Apple ecosystem, is probably the most seamless way of processing transactions, right?
Right. And if you want to do it, you're going to have to pay Apple for it.
Right, which I don't think is unfair.
It's not, but it is unfair as soon as, well, as we know, when Apple says you can't do anything else.
Right, that is where I have an issue with it.
That's now it's like, hang on, what? Like, that's kind of a conflict of interest there. Okay, our service costs this much. Oh, you can't use any other, by the way.
That is an issue there. Yep. Yeah, so I think it's a.
We don't need to beat a dead
thing.
horse. We've talked about this plenty.
No, but I think it's a good thing. But what it means is that an app developer can, set it up in a way where, hey, okay, payment stuff, click this link and you'll be redirected to, our payment here.
If they want to pay another payment processing service or develop their own, they're welcome to do it. Right,
exactly. Yep. Which I think is a good thing. So, let's see here. I thought I had this ready, and apparently I didn't. Let me do this real quick here. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Time for the Microsoft news this week. Oh, I just realized I never changed the background on that. Anyway. So Microsoft now lets you remove passwords from Microsoft accounts to embrace a passwordless future, Zach.
Passwordless future. How does that work?
I wonder
like instead of, let me guess, instead of passwords you have like hardware. You have those like hardware like key generator thingos,
what are those called?
Whatever. I don't remember.
I can't remember what they're called. Anyway, so basically the software giant will now let consumers sign into Microsoft accounts with its Microsoft Authenticator app. Windows Hello, a security key, or an SMS email verification code instead of a password. Okay.
I still prefer a password. Well, I mean, I'm sure there are solutions to the problems I'm going to pose. And mainly that the biggest problem is, what if I don't have my device? I almost always have my device. That's not a big problem. But what if something happens to my device?
Windows Hello?
Huh?
Windows Hello?
I don't know if I'm using the app, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing that, like, app-based thing.
Yep.
Just to sign into, like, whatever account. Like, that's... I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. So the new option arrives just months after Microsoft started rolling out passwordless authentication for commercial users in March to help people adjust to the realities of remote work. Let's see. When I think of security, I think you've got to protect your whole life. A corporate vice president of Microsoft Security said, compliance and identity in an interview with okay, hang on. The corporate vice president of Microsoft Security. Oh, sorry. Wow, that's a weird title. Okay, so here's what she said. When I think of security, I think you've got to protect your whole life. She is the corporate vice president of Microsoft Security, Compliance, and Identity. That is quite the title.
What a title, jeez. Careful you don't trip over that title.
Yep. In an interview with The Verge. It's no longer enough just to think about work or home and anything in between. Microsoft has been working toward a passwordless future for years, and the pandemic has only accelerated things. When you have digital transformation and businesses having to go remote overnight, the number of digital services has increased exponentially. This person explains. The number of attack services has increased exponentially. So that was a big driving factor for us in accelerating a lot of our security initiatives. Okay. Today is a major milestone for Microsoft's passwordless ambitions after the company enabled security keys in 2018 and made Windows 10 passwordless in 2019. We have been rolling this out at Microsoft, and nearly 100% of Microsoft is now passwordless, says this person. More than 200 million people are already using passwordless options, and she's optimistic about the adoption among consumers. And a relatively simple process to remove. It's a relatively simple process to remove your password as well. You'll need to have the Microsoft Authenticator mobile app installed and link to your personal Microsoft account.
We want you to have a Microsoft account.
And there is the catch.
And there goes my interest in this service.
Once that's complete, you can visit account.microsoft.com and choose advanced security options and then enable passwordless accounts in the additional security section. You then approve the change from your Authenticator app and you'll be password free. You can always reverse the change and add a password back to your Microsoft account in the future.
You know, it's funny how we're so averse to having a Microsoft account, but we just blindly sign up for a Google account, whatever.
I think it's different though.
Sign into our phones with it.
I think it's different though, because
yeah, I guess
I don't sign into my computer with my Google account.
You sign into your phone with it though.
Yes and no.
Okay.
You sign into a service. You sign into the service on it, but that's for things like your email.
It will work without it.
Right, but that's for things like your email and backups and contacts and stuff like that. But in order to actually get into the device, I'm not putting in my Gmail stuff, my Google stuff.
That's true.
I have a passcode, that is separate from it. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure Google is collecting a bunch of information from my mobile device, but, that's already a thing, we know our mobile devices spy on us.
Well, I mean, look, they can spy on me as much as they want. I'm still not seeing any of the advertisements they're spying on me to tune.
Yeah, but again, I think it's different when it comes to your desktop, because the desktop has always been kind of this holy grail kind of, you don't touch it.
Hallowed ground, you don't touch that.
Exactly, yeah, it's hallowed ground, you don't touch it. Which is not the case anymore.
Especially with Windows 11. I can't even believe they're doing that. I'm not looking forward. I'm dreading Windows 11. Holy crap.
It's only for non-pro systems.
Oh, it's only required for non-pro systems?
I believe so. I
might even skip it. If I can, I'll skip it, or at least hold out for a while and let people tinker with it, and because I'm sure Microsoft will inject their
It's going to be out for a while
garbage.
Because it's going to overlap with Windows 10.
Well, yeah, but I'm sure Microsoft's going to put a lot of garbage into it, and people are going to tinker with it, and they're going to develop workarounds and apps that can help to combat the Microsoft trash.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But my understanding is that it's only on home devices, home editions of Windows, where it's going to force you to use a Microsoft account.
That is a load of
Pro
baloney
models,
anyway, but whatever.
On the Pro options, you'll be able to have local accounts, which makes sense because, especially if you're adding it to a domain.
Makes sense. It's dumb.
No.
It should be local as an option on all of them.
You're right. I agree with that. But what I'm saying is on the Pro models, it makes sense, or the Pro SKUs, it makes sense that you can have a local account because, again, domains and things like that.
No, I agree.
So, So yeah, the benefits of password authentication are very clear. Most people create their own passwords, and it's often a challenge to create something that's secure and memorable without relying on a password manager. People often reuse their passwords too, allowing attackers to quickly log into a variety of compromised accounts after a particular organization is targeted and passwords are dumped. Google, Apple, and others are also working toward less reliance on passwords. Google Chrome lets you sign in without a password in Apple iOS 15 and macOS Monterey? Is that what that is?
I don't know. I don't know what they're on now anyway, to be honest.
Updates include a passkey and iCloud keychain feature, an attempt to replace passwords with a more secure login process. Is it really that much more secure, though, if somebody has access to your device?
No, but if a breach happens and they dump some passwords, then they're not going to be signing into all your accounts with those passwords. Because using a passwordless solution guarantees that the quote-unquote password, on the back end, is different for everything, and probably also much longer and more robust. So it's still better. Obviously, it's not foolproof, but it's more foolproof than a normal password.
I think the best of both worlds is dual authentication.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been adding...
multi-factor authentication, that's what it's called.
I haven't gone bananas and started putting 2FA on everything, but whenever I have a chance, presented with an opportunity, I will start doing 2FA on whatever.
One thing that I started doing, though, when I purchase stuff online or through apps or things like that, especially food apps and stuff like that, I just type my card information in every time. I don't save it anymore.
Yep, I do that too. Or I use, I did Google Pay recently. I had to finagle it a little bit though because my device is jailbroken.
Yep. So I use Google Pay on here, with the NFC stuff, which is awesome. I
haven't gotten to try it yet.
A lot of places
takes it.
Quickstar, Quick Trip.
Yeah, I haven't been there.
Most of your grocery stores up there should.
Yeah, I was at Target and I was trying to find where do I put my phone, and I couldn't find it. And I was just
over the screen. Over the screen. Yep.
I was standing there like a dum-dum. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm just getting my card.
Yeah, no, it's over the screen.
I'm not sure if it will work. So I installed some quote unquote workarounds that should allow use of Google Pay on a jailbroken phone. So we'll see if it works. I don't know. But I also use PayPal and stuff like that.
So because I pay for most things with my phone these days, I don't usually access my cards very often.
I always use my card. I'm like a dumb boomer that way.
Nor do I usually use cash, right? So I did a thing. This came in Tuesday, I think. And it's going to take a little bit of getting used to, but so far I'm liking it.
What is it?
You know what this is?
What is that? I have no idea what that is.
This is the Ridge wallet.
Oh, I've seen. Okay. What does it do? What's cool about
basically, it's a minimalistic wallet, right? So
it
is.
Actually looks like mine, except mine's like rubber.
So it is 2 steel plates bounded together by an elastic band.
Okay.
Right here. So I've got the cash strap right here. They also make a money clip. So I've got my cash right here, right, which isn't actually going anywhere. So it's actually pretty neat. And then it's got a little cutout in here, so I can push my cards out just enough to have access to them.
Yeah, that's neat, I suppose.
And then when I'm done, I just push them back in. So, anyway.
Yeah, I don't need like a big old wallet full of.
And so here's the thing. So what I have in here is, I gotta be careful about this because I don't want to actually show anything on camera. I'm going to put it down here. So I've got my debit card. I've got my ID. I've got my health insurance card in here. And I've got another debit card in here for the business. And that's it. That's all I've got in here. I can fit more cards in this, but that's all I need. I don't need any more cards.
Carry crap I don't need.
And that's kind of the point.
How people carry like bags and stuff, and I'm like, what? What am I gonna do with that?
That's a female thing that I will never understand. Yeah. But anyway, so that's one of the things about this is because you only have room for so many cards, it is a minimalistic solution.
Who has more than like 3 cards? Like 3 cards is a lot. Like I have 2, and even then I barely use one of them.
Well, you have your ID, don't you?
Oh no, I mean by cards I mean payment cards.
Oh no, I'm saying like just like actual cards in general, regardless of what they are.
Yeah, then in that case I have 4.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's part of the reason I bought this. Dude, this thing disappears in my back pocket. Like it's gone. Like I put it in there and it disappears.
That's nice.
So anyway, the only couple times where I've had something weird, so like I've got a pair of shorts where the pockets aren't super deep. So I was in the truck yesterday and it felt a little weird. So I did pull it out like once or twice. But I think that was more the shorts than the actual wallet itself. So otherwise, like I had it in my pocket all day. I got home. I almost forgot it was in my back pocket. Because I just didn't feel it all day. So anyway, so there's that. Yeah. You know what's going to be really annoying though? So, my new employer, I'm pretty sure has, well, I know they have keyless access, right? But I'm pretty sure it's actually, I'm pretty sure they're going to give me a card rather than like a fob.
Like a standard.
Right?
What do you mean?
Well, so
like at my employer, I have a card that's basically a fob. Like you put it up to the
right, but they actually make fobs.
Okay.
Right? So like here, hang on.
Yeah, I know what one looks like. I have had one.
Oh, I don't.
In fact, I actually do have one.
I don't know where the actual fob is, but I have a set of keys that has a physical fob on it, right?
Yes.
It's like a little keychain, right? And it goes on my keys. But then, yeah, some companies have like a card, right? Like a physical card. I think that's probably what I'm going to end up getting. You know what the one problem with this is?
It probably blocks the signal.
Yeah, it's RFID blocking. So I can't just go up to the reader and call it good.
I just wear it on my neck because we have to wear ID badges.
Oh.
Anyway, because healthcare rules. Although the rules are very lax at the corporate office where I work, but on site, nope. If the state catches you without a badge, they can literally fine you. Find the site for that.
Interesting. So anyway, so yeah, we'll see, and maybe I'll be that same where I'll have to actually wear a badge or something like that. I don't think I will.
I'm just used to it. Like I don't know.
But,
I just do it because whatever. But.
Anyway, so yeah, so there's that. Pretty neat little thing. Let's see, a couple other things.
I'm quite hungry.
Yeah, let's see here. I was gonna go through a couple other things, but
should probably talk about the iPhone. I guess they announced a new iPhone. Didn't
yeah. So okay, you know what? Let me pull that up here real quick. So the iPhone 13, the Mini,
Finally,
the Pro, and the
a higher
Max.
refresh rate display on an iPhone. Incredible.
Really?
Yeah, the Pro is 120 hertz.
Let's see. So the iPhone 13.
It's honestly, a pretty compelling feature, I will admit.
So it'll run iOS 15. It's a 6.1-inch OLED. This is the base model here.
Does it still have a giant notch? I haven't even seen it.
It very much, at least from the back, looks like the iPhone 12. Except for the cameras are diagonal now. So like,
what? Oh my gosh, it still has a giant notch.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
I'm looking at it. It's the other giant notch. Jesus. All right. Get rid of the notch. It's terrible. No one likes it.
Dude, I've been going
All I
off on the
need is
notch
Face
for.
ID.
I've been going off on the notch for a while now.
Now I'm like sold though. Like my phone has no notch, nothing on the front at all. So nice. They probably still don't have a. Do they have an under display fingerprint sensor?
No, because they have the Face ID.
Yeah, but what if you want to use fingerprint instead?
No, they're gonna keep it with the Face ID, I'm sure.
Whatever. I mean, really, getting rid of the notch and having an under display fingerprint sensor would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still got a giant notch in it. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, 60 hertz refresh. Max refresh rate on the screen. Here's the thing though, is
Pro is 120 though.
the Samsung Galaxy S21 has up to 120 hertz refresh rate.
Yeah, but the Pro is 120, I think. 13 Pro. So they're at least, coming up into the 21st century with that one,
That's true. Okay, fine.
And honestly, like that should really start being the standard for like quote unquote flagships. I mean, mine's only 90. I mean,
the Pro models are
OnePlus,
gonna include up to a terabyte of storage, though.
That's pretty. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a lot of storage, but like, what do people do with it? Do people actually use that much?
Well, you know what? If
If
you have one of the Pro models and you're actually doing video with it, then I can maybe see that.
Oh yeah, well, fair enough then, I guess. I mean, I have
4K video.
I don't even come anywhere near using all of it.
No, I don't. Still has a Lightning port.
Jeez, come on, Type C, please.
Like, yeah, come on, really, Apple? Like,
5G finally.
It's time.
Not that 5G is particularly good.
They're IP68 rated across the board.
That's good. I suppose.
Yeah, quote unquote waterproof.
No, never waterproof. You're never waterproofing an electronic device. Jeez.
That's why. Did you not see me?
Oh, I saw it. I know.
That's what I was like.
Them,
quote unquote waterproof. You know how many people come in and they're like, "It's waterproof." I'm like,
"Oh, it's not
waterproof."
It's not.
We had a kid who like went to Mexico one time. This was like when the iPhone 11 or something was like brand new. It was a couple years ago, and yeah, salt water and phones do not mix very well.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
So, yeah, waterproof.
Yeah, I mean, 120 hertz, good. 5G, I guess that's fine.
True or false? If your phone gets wet, you should put it in a bag of rice sack.
True.
False.
I don't know. I've always heard true, but I don't
False.
know. Why not?
It doesn't do anything.
Okay.
No. Okay, look, the theory makes sense, right? That, the rice would draw out the moisture, but it doesn't. What ends up happening is the device ends up just drying out on its own, but it's in the bag of rice, and so that people attribute
some
people attribute the rice with what actually fixed the device, and that's not actually what happened.
Okay, so how much does the thing cost now?
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, hang on. Here we go.
How much is it for the good screen too?
Okay, so for the top of the line, the iPhone 13 Pro Max,
branding.
$1,099.
Okay, I guess. I don't know. I mean, pretty expensive, but
which is actually it's cheaper than the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra.
It is, yeah. It's roughly in line with the top Android flagships.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair enough, I suppose.
I think I've decided that when it's time for an upgrade, I will have to reluctantly give up my headphone jack, unfortunately.
You're not going to go with an iPhone, are you?
I don't think so. I will reluctantly have to give up my headphone jack.
Yeah, I've given up mine too.
But I think when the time comes, I will probably end up getting another Samsung. Just because of, one, of the reliability, two, they're solid devices. At least the flagship versions of them. And like even my like, you know, mid-range phone that's back there, that's like the A21 or something like that, is a decent phone. But when it comes time down the line to put a battery in it, which will be something that will end up happening, they're going to be much simpler to get into than other devices. It depends. I may look at the Pixel at that point, and we'll see.
Pixel has pretty anemic hardware, though.
The Pixel?
The OS is great, but
and that's why I said we'll see.
yeah, fair enough.
You know, I saw a TCL branded phone the other day. It was actually for like a more consumer friendly brand. The phone actually looked pretty nice.
For how much I use my phone, it's worth spending money on to make it a good one. In my opinion. But you know, okay, one thing I see that's pretty interesting is this. They have an adaptive refresh rate display. That's pretty neat. Probably saves on battery quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, okay, look, I will give Apple the like, again, credit always due where needed. You know what? Look, Apple builds a good.
They build a pretty good phone. From the hardware
yeah, they build a good phone with good hardware.
Besides the notch, I can't really gripe too much.
Yeah, no. Look.
You know, I really can't gripe much at all about it besides the notch.
The design,
the notch and the lack of fingerprint. I mean, I like the fingerprint on mine. It's so nice.
The design is beautiful. I will give them that.
It's okay.
I think it's beautiful. Look, I've always appreciated
notch,
Apple's.
Oh, the notch.
Yeah, I've always appreciated Apple's.
Like spider eye crap on the back. Jeez.
Yeah, I've always appreciated Apple's designs. I guess for me,
one of my coworkers has the Note like 20 or something, and like it has like 5 eyeballs on the back. I'm like, jeez.
that is the new thing.
I know, it's
with
so
the cameras.
Funny.
So anyway, yep. So yeah, cool. Well, you know what? What's it's 7:30.
Get an iPhone. Yeah.
Let's call it a show. And yeah. So thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, you know, thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. Subscribe if you haven't done all that fun stuff. You know, whoop-de-doo. And I think we probably will be back next week. Look, here's the thing. Once I settle into my new position, Monday through Friday job, things should get a lot easier in terms of planning and things like that. So
yeah, I bet.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah. So stay tuned for updates, and we will see you next time